Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the design process. So anyway, I'm not really designing anything as much as just figuring out how to build it. First thing I do is I got some references here. This is Cinefx number 28, which has a nice big story on short circuit in here someplace. There we go. Lots of good pictures, reference pictures, mock-ups, all kinds of cool stuff. And I did find this online at, I believe it was johnny5.com or Input Inc. But I wanted the actual magazine, so I ended up getting that as well. So anyway, there's some good stuff in there. There's a good color picture of the one of the evil ones, number 1. Then I also had this from when way back in 86, 87. Whenever I got this back in the day, probably because of the Star Trek article in here. But I have this really cool magazine. Has some stuff on Labyrinth. It's funny how much. There we go. Some good pictures of Johnny Five in action here. Some views of it that I'll probably use to figure this out. And then I also found on the web this picture, which is basically the full body, although I'm only going to be building that much of it up. So, online, there's this great website, Input Inc. These are all kinds of weird views, like the back of the eyes, the side. This is actually a little model. There was a part in the first one where he was hang gliding, and they had a miniature, and this is the miniature that survived. But it has some views that aren't on the real model that they took pictures of, the real robot. I really wanted a lot of detail on these, although I probably simplified quite a bit of it. It's not going to be nearly as functional as the one with all the mechanisms in it, because anything that this thing does is going to be basically real low tech. But as you can see, there's a part of it missing back here. I don't know why. It must have gotten lost over the years. But his head actually has a little bit more to it. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, you can kind of see in that picture there. Come on, not Ali Sheedy, the other one. You can see there's another part of it on the back that's not there now. So I'll be building that as well. Maybe that's a better comparison. Come on. Where is it? There you go. From here to that, you can see this part's missing. So I'll be building that as well. Again, this is a 35-year-old movie, so I'm trying to figure out a way to make it as simply as possible for this little project I want. This is a little bit of the chest. They actually took apart this robot to see how it all worked. So there's some really good pictures on this website of different shapes and whatnot. And what I'll usually do is just try to find the shapes and go from there, whether it's from found objects or whatever else is. I want to try and duplicate this, the top of his head. You know, the one part that nobody will ever see. I want to duplicate it as best as possible. So anyway, that's basically the references that I've been able to find. Now, if I decide to, one of the ideas I had with this is to maybe make it so that the puppet itself is this, but then the stand is this, so that it can actually just sit there on display and look like a complete robot, although still be somewhat functional. I'm going to do a little drawing, because what I'm going to do is I want to try to figure out kind of the mechanisms I need. So I definitely want the eyelids. Although the lower ones probably won't do much. So I got the eyes. So if I take one of these, make sure the flip goes the right way. If I do this and I tape it on, this is my idea of how this might work. Okay, so take this, take this, and tape it on. Okay. Can you see it? You get a motion very similar to the way that those eyelids worked on the movie, and straight up and down it works better, but you can kind of see what I'm going to be doing. And it did work on the actual mock-up, so I'm pretty confident about that. Now the problem is that if I do that, then the head itself can only swivel side to side. So I think I'm going to be taking that off of the stick and running a tube down this. So back to my little drawing here. We got that, and from the side, going to be something like so. Okay, so one of the things I want to do is I'm going to put a universal joint on that, or a ball and socket joint. And I don't know if you remember the C3PO hands, but this is all that's left of the C3PO tripod here. Kind of looks like a probe droid. Okay, so anyway, there's this neat socket up here, and I might use that if I can figure out how to adapt it on the actual neck. So what I want to do is put a ball and socket here, and then I want to put this on a piece of PVC pipe, and then run a rod up. And this is exactly how C3PO's neck works. And I want to have a little thing here. There's a little slot. So basically, when this goes up and down, that causes it to rock on this ball joint, and then it'll tip it this way, and then I can spin it, and it'll turn its head to side. So you should get some motion that does this, which would be nice. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, because Johnny doesn't have that, if you look at the picture, the real one has these things here. So I have these pistons that were left over from C3PO also. So I'm going to actually do this sort of thing. That gives us the head and these three things, or these are the pistons, and this little box is right here, and then there's these three levers that the head rocks on. There's nothing under here, but I'm going to fudge that, so that'll be like that. So, and this will go down farther. So this will go like so. Okay, so then we get to here. Your rod, and he has a chest plate. He has a chest plate here. Looks like so. And so what I want to do is I'll do this out of PVC. Put these holes in it, and there'll be a T-joint here, so the rod can run through it. But what I want to do is, at some point, I'll put one of these guys. I guess it would go, let me think. So his actual posture goes like so. So it'll only go down that far, and then I'll have this coming down. So again, this will make sense to me. So basically what will happen is it'll go like that, and the rod will go down through there. So this will cause his body to go back, and then I'll put a little foam plate on there, and then the arms will come down, and then I'll have another T here, which has these other two arms to this part down here, and it will have another PVC with, this would be the tool arm, which is basically just going to be kind of carved foam or patterned up foam. Won't be functional. And then this other one will be somewhat functional. I have a little lever on here that has the gun, the laser gun. And that'll go like that. And then the arms will go like so. So basically he'll have a rod that comes down him that you'll see it'll come out right about here. And that'll be how we're able to perform them. But you know, like I said, this is just necessary evils when you're trying to make a rod puppet out of something that was animatronic basically before. I think this will work. I may have to change things quite a bit to make it actually work. But I do have this little prototype here. Let me see if I can flip the camera so that we can actually see it. Get the general idea. So that's what I built yesterday. A couple PVC pipes here for that. Those might be too heavy. I used a piece of it's like a parking sign that I cut into pieces. I don't think that's going to be rigid enough, so this will probably be wood just in that little slot. But I'm going to try and figure out how much I can cut off so that I don't have quite as much bulk out of it. This is the rigid dinosaur grabber, which makes the eyelids go up and down. And then that's the mouth that I found online that does it's for I guess it's for like a rave, if you wanted to make the sound beat to the music, but it works really well for the lip sync. So anyway, I'm going to use that. I'm going to cover up the edges of it to make it look a little smaller with foam. And these are those fake security lights that I use for that part. It might be some bit of that, and then the rest of it's right inside there as the inner lens. If I have a reference here, let's see, where is it? I don't know if I can do all this one-handed. So it's starting to look like it. I think the eyelids are a little too big, so I'm gonna take those down. And then, what's the other thing I was going to do? Oh, so there's an iris in there, which I'm not going to have an iris, but I'll paint that blue and kind of make it look like one. This is the top of a pill box, a bill up like from the pharmacist. And then a regular vinyl eye like I use for pupils. I think it's 5/8 inch. I did find some measurements on the input.com. It says that his eye diameter is 4 inches or thereabouts. This is 2, so this will be about half size, I think. And I'll probably exaggerate some things and make some things smaller. Like I think the body's going to be quite a bit smaller, just to make it look more in tune with everything else I've built. But anyway, hopefully this has been interesting for you, and I will see you next time.